Minnesota's Steve Mendenhall tells KSTP it's a little too early for a snowstorm. For the winter? At least 2 people have died in crashes on icy roads in his state. The Veterans Administration is undergoing some big changes.
Just in time for Veterans Day, VA Secretary Robert McDonald says major changes are coming to his department. The largest restructuring in the department's history. It's being called My VA. Sweeping changes to make it easier for veterans to gain access to the sprawling department and its many websites to get the benefits and the services that they've already earned and deserve. McDonald says the VA will create a single regional framework encompassing all aspects of the agency, especially health care. The plan includes hiring more doctors, nurses, and medical staff, and allowing more veterans to purchase care outside the VA when needed. David Valento, Washington.
Veterans Day is not only a time to honor those who served in the military or American businesses, it's also a time to back that appreciation up with a freebie. Local locally owned businesses and national chains are offering up something free today to anyone who served in the military. This is AP Radio News. Good day, I'm Autumn.
And I'm Wilma. And we really like things to be, well, right.
When things are right, everything just flies with ease, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Like when we moved from our bike shop over to Kitty Hawk's. You seem like it's rounded ways.
No, because we kept checking and rechecking our movers inventory list. Right, brother?
Right, brother. Right,
You're right.
To avoid turbulence when PCSing, always check the accuracy of your movers inventory list before you sign off.
A potentially perfect parent brought to you by AdultSkids.org.
I might look like an adult, like a person who could possibly be a parent, but I have no idea how to talk like one. And everyone knows that if you want to be a parent, you have to sound good when you say things like, "Don't make me turn this car around," or "Because I said so," or "Don't make me come back there." I don't even really know what those things mean, but I know that I actually believed my parents when they said them to me. How did they manage to sound so convincing? Here we go. Don't make me come back there. No, that's not tough enough. All kids can sense weakness. Don't make me come back there. Yeah, that's better. In fact, that kind of sounded like my dad. Weird.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to listen to you practice your dad's voice. Call 1-888-200-4005 or visit AdultSkids.org for more information. This message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and Off-Dust Kids and the Ad Council.
Believe it. My savings are gone. They're gone.
You're kidding.
No, they're gone. They're gone.
Okay, think about it. Where did you have them?
I remember I was home, and I took them, and then I spent them on that vacation to Aruba. Then I bought this miniature suit of armor I saw in the In-Flight magazine.
And the last you saw of your savings?
Yes?
This is weird.
I know, right?
Weird? Not really. Not a big deal. No money later. You'd be surprised how quickly a little money from every paycheck can really add up. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. A free idea, but equally safe. Go to feedbig.org. That's feedbig.org.
The armor is cool, though. Oops. I think I broke it.
You broke my favorite part.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
And this briefing. Status of launching? No, it was the status of forces agreement. They said that our rights to free speech, rights to party, our rights under a SOFA can vary depending on whether we're military. No. No.
Status of forces agreements protect the rights of Americans seeking abroad, but they vary depending on whether you're a service member, a DoD civilian, or a family member. Check with your legal office for more information.
Here are 3 simple steps to get your options. 1, 2, 3. 1. Download the iHeartRadio app on your smartphone or tablet.
Verified.
2. Find live station.
Affirmative.
3. Type in FSR. And then FSR. Accredited radio station. Get the fast. It's that simple. Child, please. For the NASCAR Championship Weekend in Miami. Catch a special 2-hour edition of Race Talk, Chase Championship Edition, tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1.
watch Ben Maller Show. There, you can get long-awaited interaction with Big Ben and the rest of the Maller Militia.
And your face, Ben Maller.
And now, here's Ben Maller.
We will have the always exciting Huck the World coming up momentarily. Jake's been talking non-stop about Dancing with the Stars down to 5. Jake's,
That's a full-face love. That show's still on?
is anyone watching that show? It's like, what are the ratings on it? Is that a comment?
Who's the sports person on it?
That's a great question. Let's see if
Ben, you told us.
what's that? No, I haven't. I'm doing my copious research for the radio show. Let's see, have we heard of any of these people that are still part of this? Let's see, I have the names here in front of me. I've been handed the names by Jake. He gave me some of his notes.
You're trying.
Janelle Parrish and Val Kurovsky, I guess? I don't know.
One of the guys is the dancer, man. Come on.
I don't know. Who's the dance? I don't know.
Val Kurovsky.
Okay.
Never heard of him.
So then you got Alfonso, was it Rivero? Is that his name?
Carlton.
Carlton. I've heard of him. He's not an athlete. Bethany Moda?
It's Manny Moda's daughter.
Yeah, they did the Vietnamese. That's what they, whatever that is. Sadie Roberts?
Never heard of.
They did just the jive. Leah Thompson, part of this.
Back to the Future?
Tommy Chong. Oh, we've all heard of him. Tribute to Weed Gaster. Really? Yeah, part of it. Oh, I know that. We must get to Puck the World! And we bring in the leading voice in hockey on Fox Sports Radio, the Godfather, Eddie Garcia.
Well, big news the NHL this week, Big Ben, was the Pittsburgh Penguins signing Rolling Flurry to a 4-year contract extension worth $23 million. Now, the first overall pick by Pittsburgh in 2003 helped him win a Stanley Cup. However, he has struggled in the playoffs ever since winning that cup. That was back in 2009. Toronto Maple Leafs forward Carter Ashton has been suspended 20 games for violating the NHL's performance enhancing drug policy. Ashton denies trying to gain a competitive advantage, but he won't appeal the suspension. In a statement released by the NHLPA, he claims he unwittingly ingested the drug clenbuterol after borrowing the training partner's inhaler to treat his exercise-induced asthma.
Pinocchio. Yeah.
The Ontario Hockey League, one of the 3 major developmental leagues, handed out 15 Ben Solz, Peterborough Pete's, and Jake Marchment of the Belleville Bulls for their abusive language on social media. The league said the inappropriate and concerning activity violated the league's social networking policy. Players were involved in a Tinder conversation with a female when they made some abusive comments. The American Hockey League, the AAA of minor league hockey, Bridgeport's Down Tigers goalie David Leggio made bad lines. He was faced with a 2-on-0 breakaway. 2 players against him, no help at all. He then turned around and pushed the net off its moorings. In doing so, the play was blown dead, and the penalty shot was awarded once 1-on-1 against the goalie instead of 2-on-0. He stopped the penalty shot. The AHL, not amused by his tactic, although it was kind of smart. They changed the rules now. If you purposely dislodge the net on a breakaway, you are ejected. Ejected the game.
Oh, come on. That's a little harsh there.
So there, that is your Puck the World report.
What happens if you call a timeout in hockey? You have no timeouts, but no. All right, that's a
Delay the game penalty.
And you see, I saw a fun hockey stat. Are you aware of the goaltender who's on pace to play the most minutes in NHL history?
Is it Corey Schneider?
Yes! Corey Schneider, I read where he's on pace.
Like 15 straight starts.
Yeah, he's on pace to set the record for the most minutes by a goaltender. The record held by Evgeny Nabokov.
Okay,
He played for the Sharks a few years ago. There you go. Well, we set the record for minutes in sports talk radio on a nightly basis.
Hey, look over there. Hey, you, get off the grass!
Did I tell you about my granddaughter? Well, she went and bought herself a fancy new leather couch.
You must have sent her back a piece.
Yeah, well, she got herself set up with a credit card. She's making the minimum payment each month. At the rate she's going, she'll be paying for that darn couch for 20 more years.
I tell you, just only making the minimum payment on a credit card charge makes not as much sense as a submarine with a screen door.
I know. It makes about as much sense as giblet gravy on Friday's
fish stick. Yeah, I was as much as a sidewinder in a straitjacket.
Log on to militaryflenssource.com for time-tested advice on using credit wisely.
What were we just talking about? I don't know. Looks like rain.
Party, party, huh, guys? I do say so myself. Hey, did you know that birthday parties actually help build confidence in kids?
Yeah, I did know that.
Did you know that giving kids less sugar before bedtime helps them sleep better?
Right, of course.
Yeah, maybe that. Did you know that strollers have the right of way on sidewalks?
Yeah, true. Did you know that friendly kids statistically have more friends?
Everyone knows that. Pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right cursing for their kids, but they're not?
I didn't know that.
I think I knew that. Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right age to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This is NIH Health Matters. Researchers have found that 7 different mutations in one specific gene create abnormal versions of an enzyme involved in testicular function and growth. Dr. Collins used protagonists with the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development says the mutations appear to increase risk of developing a tumor, but don't cause cancer directly. Has it said that they all carry anywhere from 7 to 10 mutations? And in one of these, we don't necessarily have disease, and there's also these mutations. So we have priors of mutations that potentially giving us disease. For more information, visit www.nih.gov. Health Matters is produced by the National Institute of Health, part of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Now for a belly visit with America's Shortcut Handyman.
Tell me, someday I'm going to tell you how I got that name, but right now I'm going to show you how to rewire an overhead light fixture. Now, there's no time to shut off the power, so, now where's that metal ladder? Well, you know what? This desk chair will work. Squeaky wheel there. Okay, now I'm going to unscrew the cover. Oh, that's a tangly mess of wires in there. Dusty too. It looks like a rat's been through. No lead evidence. Okay, I'm just going to take this screwdriver and,
Shortcuts and workarounds, they can compromise safety and put lives at risk. Please work responsibly.
Okay, I'm fine. Is somebody barbecuing?
A credit card shouldn't be able to do much harm. It's only a piece of plastic. It's not like it's a drug. Oh, sure, abusing credit can hook you in, make you feel
手に持ってラジオ手に持って
Economic meeting, tackling some of the tough issues, Iraq, Syria, Ukraine, for a total of 15 to 20 minutes. Iraq's military says its soldiers have battled the Islamic State to recapture the heart of the town of Beijing and home to the country's largest oil refinery. Wind chill advisories are posted along the continental divide, part of a huge cold air system that moved into the Rockies and upper Midwest from Alaska.
And then we have wind chill advisories kind of in our interior portion of western Montana. So where the strongest wind is going to be and the coldest temperatures are along the divide. So we have some pretty cold wind chill. We're looking for as cold as -20.
National Weather Service meteorologist Ken Miller. It's a nightmare for Hawaiians in the town of Pahoa. A stream of lava has set a home on fire and burned down in 45 minutes. This is AP Radio News. It's 36 years in prison for the captain of a ferry that sank in South Korea in April, killing more than 300 people. Remember this song? Rockstars banding together in 1984 to raise money for Ethiopian famine relief. Stars including One Direction, Ed Sheeran, and Coldplay's Chris Martin have signed up to re-record the charity single Do They Know It's Christmas. Proceeds this time going to the battle against Ebola. Bob Geldof wrote the new lyrics.
There, not about hunger, but mandates still says people first.
The song will be recorded on Saturday. It should be available to download on November 17th. Emergency room Dr. Craig Spencer is now Ebola-free, and officials say that he'll be released from a hospital in New York today. Sandy Cosell, AP Radio News.
This is the Wall Street Journal report. I'm Frank Cibola. You probably have a friend like this, someone who is laser focused on eating healthy food, not just once in a while, but always, and to the point of obsession. Doctors are now warning this healthy food obsession could be a mental disorder. The Journal's Sebastian Reddy explains.
Some people are so fixated, so rigid in, eating a certain way, it becomes unhealthy, and it's, in some ways really just like obsessive compulsive disorder.
The White House says it expects about 10 million people to have health care coverage through those health care exchanges next year, far fewer than previously expected. A projection earlier this year by the Congressional Budget Office had 13 million people enrolling for private coverage. As you get ready to dive into your morning bowl of cereal, some good news. Dairy giant Bean Foods says the recent record prices for milk will likely fade by next year as production is ramped up in the U.S. and elsewhere. This is the Wall Street Journal report.
Monday Night Football, the Eagles beat the Panthers 45-21. Quarterback Mark Sanchez, 3 injured, starter Nick
energy, according to CNN, of the typhoon. And its current strength is derived from flashes of hot and cold air. The effects of that cold air will be felt as early as the weekend. Temperatures will drop on the East Coast. In the central part of the United States, they're just going to plunge. And by Sunday, a second cold front with really cold air will make its way into the upper Midwest and the East Coast by the end of next week. The name polar vortex has been attached in the past to weather like this, but that's not what this is. That's a misnomer. There is a thing called the polar vortex, and it's always present in the Arctic atmosphere. The current storm is affecting the jet stream and allowing this cold air to plunge to the south. It's not a direct result of the polar vortex. Whether that means anything to anybody or not is immaterial. The storm is still there. But I've been looking at this at the National Weather Service's website. I mean, this thing is just... I don't think I've ever seen a storm that's 800 miles across, but there it is. Just thought you might want to know. Obama has announced more troops to Iraq. Another 1,500 troops as part of the mission to combat Islamic State. They are going to be called advisors. And when I heard that today, advisors to the Iraqi army, ding, 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 ding. Anybody above a certain age will tell you that's exactly what the troops were called that Eisenhower and then Kennedy sent to Vietnam. They were called advisors. And by the time Johnson came into office, they no longer were advisors. They were 500 million as Johnson worked his way through his 5 years in office, whatever it was, 500 million U.S. troops. The result of which was 2 million dead Vietnamese, 58,000 dead Americans. God knows how many people. I can't get into it again. I just can't. But here we are. The spokesman for Obama says the troops won't serve in a combat role, but will train, advise, and assist Iraqi military and Kurdish forces fighting IS. Now, the White House press secretary, Josh Earnest, says Obama has also authorized the additional personnel to operate at Iraq military facilities outside Baghdad and Erbil. Now, if you're an advisor and you are sent, a military advisor, to train troops, you're sent to a war zone, you are going to be in combat. It doesn't make a difference what it's called back here in the United States. You can call it Swiss cheese. You can call it DNA. You can call it a new Ford convertible. You can call it any damn thing you want, but it's still combat. So here we go again. And also he has asked Congress, right after the meeting today with all these geeks and morons and freaks on both sides who got together with Obama for no reason, none whatsoever. But right after that lunch, whatever the hell it was, the announcement was made that Obama is asking Congress for another $6 billion to fund this military action. I'm telling you, it's just never going to stop. What Bush and Cheney did is the reverberations, the ripple effect, whatever you want to call it, from that war crime is going to continue to ripple and roil whatever it touches for the foreseeable future. When your grandchildren are having children, we still, if there's a planet left, still be involved in military action in Iraq. This is just a mind breaker to me. I mean, here we go. Here we go. So those are two or three of the big things that caught my attention right away. The nomination of the new Attorney General, this massive superstorm, and Obama's commitment of more troops to fight in a section of the world where we should not even, I mean, we should no more be there than anywhere. But that sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Saying that American troops should not be in a certain part of the world when there are American troops in every part of the world. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised to find out there's some in China and Russia. There probably are. They're advisors. You know, they work on a military cooperation basis with the Chinese. Yeah, that makes sense. But we have troops all over the world. So to say, oh my God, Obama's sending another 2,000 troops to Iraq sounds a little bit like, ho-hum. So what else? Yeah, but it just gets very, very frustrating. All right, coming up tonight, we have, the lines are open, by the way, so come on. 877-996-2556 is the number. Any sponsors tonight? None? Yeah, we do need some, but okay. Phone lines are open. Podcast trivia tonight, this first hour. As a matter of fact, after the next break, we're going to do podcast trivia, so you can win a one-year subscription to audio and video downloads, podcast downloads. And also a report from Prairie 2 coming up also this hour, so stick around. I'm Mike Malloy.
A lot of people have abandoned talk radio because they're sick and tired of the echo chamber. Who wants to hear the same tired old topics repeated over and over, border to border across the fruited plain? You won't have that problem with the Mike Malloy Show. We deliver 3 hours of loud, proud, progressive, passionate political talk you won't find anywhere in corporate media, and you certainly won't hear from right-wing radio hosts. We're sometimes controversial, but never boring. So if you value this completely independent program and what we strive to do 3 hours each night, 5 nights a week, then support our Keep It Lit pledge drive. Please visit MikeMalloy.com and make a pledge. We have some great thank you gifts for your support, including some home-baked goodies made personally by me. With you behind us, we can keep on fighting the flying monkey right for years to come. That's MikeMalloy.com. Thank you.
Here's a message of importance to millions of people who are continually pale and washed out, weak and run down. Doctors will tell you that these conditions are often caused by a deficiency of iron. The iron you need to build healthy blood, to keep your body function properly, and to keep you physically fit and mentally alert. Ironized yeast tablets provide you with a simple and effective way to get the daily iron your body requires. Ironized yeast is a concentrated iron tonic combined with high-potency brewer's yeast, one of the natural sources of vitamin B1. And every daily dose of ironized yeast gives you more than your daily minimum iron requirement in a form your body can easily use and put to work. Of course, pallor and weakness can come from other causes, so see your doctor regularly. So if you're not getting the iron your body needs, if you feel weak, run down, and are easily upset, get New Pep, vigor and color for only a few pennies a day. Start taking ironized yeast tomorrow.
Negative words.
Oh, I understand. understand, Mr. Stone. So instead of saying it's expensive, we can say it isn't so cheap, right?
You got it, Momo. Expensive and cheap are antonyms.
I've got one. My brother isn't so tall. It means he's short.
And my English isn't the best in this class. It's the worst.
Did you catch it?
ストーリーの内容がつかめたか確認しましょう。今日のテーマは
What does my brother isn't so tall really mean?
私の兄はそんなに背が高くないとはどんな意味を表していますかということですが What do you think of it, ジェニカ?
It means he's short.
つまりは背が低いということを表しています。
Tall and short have opposite meanings.
トールとショートは反対の意味を表しています。That's right. Do you have any other opposite words?
Big, small,
大きい、小さい、
Friend.
enemy,
友と敵、
Tight.
loose,
きついと緩い、
Shy.
outgoing.
内気なと外交的な、これらが opposite words 反対の意味を表す語ということですね。さあ今日のストーリーの中ではヒロたちのクラスでどんな範囲語が出てくるでしょうか。早速ストーリーの内容を確認しましょう。
Yesterday, we studied synonyms.
昨日は同義語を学習しました。
Today, let's look at words that have the opposite meaning.
今日は反対の意味を持つ単語を見てみよう。 Let's look at words 単語を見てみよう。どんな単語かわからないので関係説を使って後ろから説明します。 That have the opposite meaning 反対の意味を持つ単語。 That は関係代名詞で主語として働いています。省略はできません。
These words are called antonyms.
これらの単語は反義語と呼ばれます。
So, antonym is a synonym of opposite.
それではアントニム反義語は opposite 正反対のものの同義語ですね。
I guess so.
そういうことになるね。
Now, one useful way to use antonyms is when we want to avoid using negative words.
さて反義語を使って一つ役立つのは否定的な語を使うのを避けたい時だよ。
Oh, I understand, Mr. Stone.
ああ、わかりました、ストーン先生。
So, instead of saying it's expensive, we can say it isn't so cheap, right?
つまり It's expensive それは値段が高いという代わりに It isn't so cheap それはそれほど安くないと言えるということですね。
You got it, Momo.
その通りだよ、モモ。 You got it というのはその通りとかそうだよという意味を表します。 Right というモモの疑問文に対する答えを表しています。
Expensive and cheap are antonyms.
Expensive と cheap は範囲語なんだ。
I've got one.
私も一つ思いつきました。
My brother isn't so tall.
My brother isn't so tall 私の兄はそんなに背が高くない。
It means he's short.
つまり He's short 彼は背が低いという意味です。
And my English isn't the best in this class.
それに My English isn't the best in this class 僕の英語はクラスで最高というわけではない。
It's the worst.
それは It's the worst 最悪だということ。
I can do it.
今週の Can Do は同義語、反義語、接字について理解し使うことができるですが今回の表現は
Expensive and cheap are antonyms.
Expensive と cheap は範囲語なんだ。範囲語はアントニム。ここでは主語が Expensive と cheap 2つありますのでアントニムツ複数形を使います。他にもこんな言い方があります。
Expensive and cheap are opposite in meaning.
Expensive と cheap は意味において反対です。ではサウンド練習です。
Expensive and cheap are antonyms.
現を使った他の会話の例を聞いてみましょう。
Is tall an antonym of short?
Yes, tall and short are antonyms.
tall は short の範囲語ですか？そうです。tall と short は範囲語よ。最初の A のセリフですが、ここでは疑問文になっています。これを肯定文に直すと tall is an antonym of short となります。2つの言い方が可能です。
It's your turn.
今度は皆さんの番です。ヒントの語句を使って次の単語が範囲語であることを説明しましょう。
Busy, free, friendly, unsociable, gentle, harsh.
ではベンが皆さんに話しかけますので、単語をよく聞き取って答えてみましょう。どうぞ。
Is gentle an antonym of harsh?
回答です。
Is gentle an antonym of harsh?
Yes, gentle and harsh are antonyms.
あるいは
Yes, gentle is an antonym of harsh.
gentle と harsh は範囲語ですか？はい、gentle と harsh は範囲語です。他にも範囲語はいろいろありますので、ぜひ皆さん調べてみて練習してください。楽しいと思いますよ。それではストーリーのリピート練習です。
Yesterday, we studied synonyms. Today, let's look at words that have the opposite meaning. These words are called antonyms. So, antonym is a synonym of opposite. I guess so. Now, one useful way to use antonyms is when we want to avoid using negative words.
Oh, I understand, Mr. Stone. So instead of saying, it's expensive, we can say, it isn't so cheap, right?
You got it, Momo. Expensive and cheap are antonyms.
I've got one. My brother isn't so tall. It means he's short.
And my English isn't the best in this class. It's the worst. You're the best. One more thing.
ストーリーの中に出てきた大切な表現や文法をチェックしましょう。今回の表現は
Instead of saying, it's expensive, we can say, it isn't so cheap.
It's expensive それは値段が高いという代わりに It isn't so cheap それはそれほど安くないと言えます。 Instead of 動詞の ing 形、この形で何々する代わりにあるいは何々しないでの意味を表します。 of に続く動詞は of は前置詞なので必ず ing 形を使います。では今の表現を使った他の会話の例を聞いてみましょう。
Why don't we stay at home and watch some DVDs instead of going on a trip?
I don't like that idea. Why don't we go shopping and have dinner instead of going on a trip, Mum?
旅行に行く代わりに家にいて DVD を見るのはどうかしら。そのアイデアは好きじゃないな。旅行に行く代わりに買い物に行って夕食を食べるのはどうママ。 Instead of だと動詞の going が続いています。さあ Instead of の使い方学習したところで最後にもう一度ストーリーを聞いてみましょう。
Yesterday, we studied synonyms. Today, the opposite meaning. These words are called antonyms.
So, antonym is a synonym of opposite.
I guess so. Now, one useful way to use antonyms is when we want to avoid using negative words.
Oh, I understand, Mr. Stone. So instead of saying it's expensive, we can say it isn't so cheap, right?
You got it, Momo. Expensive and cheap are antonyms.
I've got one. My brother isn't so tall. It means he's short.
And my English isn't the best in this class. It's the worst.
Today we learned about antonyms. Can you think of a few antonyms, friends?
Tall or short, young or old, anyone can study English.
We are here for you. Bye. NHK 高校講座現代文の時間です。今回は緑の指の2回目。講師は長谷川拓也先生です。
ご機嫌いかがですか？長谷川拓也です。今回は吉本バナナの短編小説緑の指の2回目になります。前回読んだ部分では去年の冬の出来事として育ちすぎたアロエの問題、そして祖母が末期がんだと診断されたことが語られていました。これら2つの事件は私に一体どんな影響を与えることになるのでしょうか。それでは今回の学習のポイントを確認しましょう。ポイントは3つあります。1つ目、病院という空間、生と死。2つ目、祖母と私。3つ目、祖母とシクラメン。以上の3つです。では前回の続きを読んでいくことにしましょう。朗読は国本よしえさんです。
ある日、私が祖母の好きなどら焼きを持っていくと、祖母は気持ちよさそうに寝ていた。